Well guys, how's she going today? So it's the day after the big storm that we had last night, which lasted for quite a fucking while. It really pissed me off because they weren't even calling for this horse shit. And they just weren't calling for it. They were calling for rain starting at 4:30, which it kind of started around that time. It was kind of very misty and just kind of, you know, really didn't do much at 4:30. But then as you got closer to 6 o'clock, you know, it was kind of doing that on and off. It was enough to shut the balers down, or just a baler. So we got we got these 4 outside rounds baled off and whatever else, but it was getting too tough by 6:30, so they just decided to call it, you know, enough is enough. And then they were kind of, whoops, everybody's phones kept saying something different. We didn't even know what to fucking believe. So, and then something was kind of telling me that we could get a rain sometime during the night, you know. So we put the door back on the 15, and I'm fucking glad we did, because my interior would have been flooded. So I was gonna go take a look now, because I know those damn doors, they're not 100% sealed, so crap can get in them, you know. So it's probably like a million fucking degrees in this cab, because, you know, I don't even have the windows open, which I guess I could have had them open today, but it's pretty well, looks like everything fared all right. So I don't know, but yeah, we ended up getting a hell of a fucking storm. It rained for about an hour. Not even rained, it downpoured. We had, in my opinion, the worst storm of the year last night. I think that's the biggest storm we've had so far this year. So I guess since it's boiling hot in this cab, any moisture that isn't here would have evaporated anyway. So it doesn't do any good to, I guess, to really check it, but, you know, wanted to check it anyway. So, and yeah, it rained 1.5 inches. We already had, at 9:30 we got a 1/2 inch. That's kind of what you guys, I guess, kind of before that video. Look at the grass is starting to fucking grow through because we can't rake it or bale it. So I don't know, the top of it feels pretty good yet, but I don't know, I don't dare rake anything, because, you know, I don't know who's going to be here with the baler to bale it. So it feels like the top dried out though, so actually that's probably a pretty good thing. But that's a thin as fuck windrow too. So yeah, it rained 1.5 inches. We got a 1/2 inch around 9:30ish. There goes a mouse. And then we got that 1 inch out of that storm. So, well, the top is dry, so that would probably go. $1 million question is what's underneath. Drenched. Yeah, so you would have to flip it regardless. So, but I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what to say anymore, because what's the sense? I mean, it got pretty fucking hot today. It's still, yeah, that's drenched. She's drenched. On top it's dry, but underneath it's drenched. So if you did flip it, it probably would have dried out. I mean, there's good heat. And then there's some good wind. So, I don't know. It's questionable, I guess, but it ain't gonna, you would have to flip it for sure. And I didn't bother to even come out here because, well, up in Canada right now, as I'm making this video, you guys are in for a tornado watch. And we are in for nothing besides a heat stroke. But we don't even have no heat advisories or nothing out. I mean, you would think for 100, everything says it's different. So I think we're up to 102 degrees right now, but every app, weather app you use, it's different. So we're definitely above 95 degrees. So I gotta get back in the air conditioning. It's just ridiculous. It's too hot. Oh yeah. So I don't know. I'm not gonna flip it. It's supposed to be I don't know. It's supposed to be, I guess, not as hot tomorrow. And whatever else. I'm actually surprised that the hay even did a little bit of drying, because I think the humidity in the dew point is up so much. So yeah, and then that storm that come, there were some crazy winds. There's some minor damage, of course, done to the farm, but that's nothing new because everything's just wore out anyway. So you could take it apart with a screwdriver and you would have no problems. So there's one tree down in town. It's a big tree too. So I figured you would kind of need at least today to dry whatever it could dry on top, and then you would have to flip it. We're going to have to flip it because it would take way too long to dry out. By the time it would dry out, it would mold, and then I don't want it. So, and we need it. So letting it sit for another fucking 4 days or 5 days or whatever, it's not an option over here. So I guess I could have called the young guy, see what he thought, but I think I'm just gonna, I mean, it's already 6 o'clock, so even if you did flip something now, it would never dry out much today. So I don't know. I think I'll call him tomorrow if we don't get any more rain now for a while. I mean, it's so stupid because we're hotter today than we were yesterday, and yesterday brought all hell. And today, they're not really saying anything. They're saying that there could be a chance, but those chances, I don't know. But they said that yesterday too, that there could be a chance of shit, but then you looked on the radar, you didn't really see anything. So and these windrows over here are even heavier. So now you can see there's like a storm or something brewing over there. But I don't think that's coming this way though. Okay, so yeah, it's nice and dry on top, which I didn't even think it would even dry on top. I don't know. So, yeah. Yeah, it ain't good. It ain't fucking good. I just... This is frustrating. It's like... You know, this rain is just making it hard to get anything done. But I should be used to that by now. So, I guess what do? You know? So, I don't know. I mean, it's drying out quite a bit today. I checked it at noon. It's 6 o'clock right now. I'm going to check it again tonight. And it would have dried out some more. But from noon to now, the top has definitely dried out. I checked it, this, like I said, around noon. And the tops were moist, but they weren't wet. Like, they weren't soaked. Not like the bottom. The underneath is completely drenched. To get that to dry out, it's going to require flipping. Yeah, I think even if we had 2 or 3 days in a row of this type of weather, I don't think it's going to do much drying underneath, because the top layer of hay, it's what's going to protect it. So, but kind of want the ground to dry out too, because it's not going to make much sense to flip it and then you're flipping dry hay on top of a kind of like a damp ground, you know. So I don't know, but I also just don't dare. I don't even know if I want to rake. I mean, I have to. Somebody has to do it, but I don't even know if you flipped it tomorrow around noon, if it would dry out by 6 o'clock to bale it. I don't know. So I kind of have to, you know, if it was just me doing all this, then I could bale it at 6 o'clock, whatever. Fuck, I'd go at 10 o'clock at night if I had to bale it. But the thing is I'm not the one that makes the decisions on when to bale. I can only really make a decision on to flip hay or not, but I also still can't do that either, because I have to gauge it off of when the young guy or his kids, whatever, think that they're going to be down here to bale. If they don't plan on coming, let's say tomorrow, to bale, then there's really no sense of flipping it, because then you'd just be over drying the hay. It's already dry enough on top, you know, like it's not like dry, but I mean it's dry, but that's because it's had the sun and the wind on it all day today. So like you could bale the top of it, but you know, and nobody's going to do that obviously, and that would be really hard to do. But that's how dry the top is. Like, you know, if you could do it, you could do it, but nobody's going to bale everything, you know. It wouldn't make any sense. So I think if we let it sit today, finish off today with it just sitting, not even caring about it, and then maybe tomorrow come out, as long as it doesn't rain anymore. But they're saying that there could be a chance, so I don't know. But if because I'm going to probably flip the square field, because that's going to be the easiest thing to do, and that's the oldest stuff that's been cut. So that's what has to get baled up first to get it out of here. But I like to bale the square field because it's straight lines. It's just easy. So the square field's going to go first regardless, because we already did the outside rounds and that's it. So but I think if we can flip it tomorrow, I suppose around noon or 1, and maybe if they came back by 6, or, you know, 6 o'clock, to bail off whatever I flipped, because I don't know how much of this I'm going to actually flip. I mean, I'll have to flip it all, but, you know, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, the baler would be able to go faster than me, so I don't really want the baler to get caught up with me, because then the hay's not going to really dry, right? So it needs to be where it's just rake day. You know, that's all you do is you rake hay. So, but the way I figured it is, if I could flip it tomorrow around noon or 1, and they come back maybe at 6 or 7, and then they got to come with both tractors. There's just no other way around it. The young guy is busy baling up roadside ditches, and he has to haul that basically the same day that he bales it, because the farmers want to mow it. What there is to fucking mow after you cut it for hay, I don't know, but they get pissy about it. So, but I don't know, unless it's just like the edges of their fields or something, I don't know. But so that's what he did yesterday. He was talking about yesterday. He was talking about maybe coming down here with the 9, you know, but he wanted to bale up. He was working on one field, and then it started spitting on him a little bit. Now, like I said, that was around 4:30 or so. And then he called back about an hour later, and he said, fuck it, I'm not coming, because I'm going to go bale that roadside stuff before it rains too much. So that's what he did. So he never made it down here with the 9 last night. So if he can make it down here tomorrow with the 9, then I don't know, maybe. So, because I mean, I don't know. So, because I think the top is dry. Like, you could bale that if you wanted to, but you're not going to bale just the top off, because it's stupid. So, but that's what's ready to go. But underneath, yeah, it's still drenched. So you would need basically another day like this. But since today is so late, you know, it's already 6:15 in the evening, you might as well just finish off today and just let today finish drying whatever it can dry, and then I guess come back down here tomorrow, and I'll talk to the young guy first, see if they're even planning on coming down here with, you know, to bale. But then I would obviously tell them you'd have to wait till at least 6, because it would need pretty much all day to even dry. You know, so I mean, even if I started flipping now, it would never dry in time. So, and then I'm worried about, you know, that there could be more rain coming. So, I don't know. It's just irritating. It's what it is. What are you gonna do? Reese 6 is complaining too, and he's complaining he ain't getting any fucking rain. Well, at least you got good drying weather. We had that too back in fucking June, which is when this hay should have went down. But he was busy cutting other fields, so that was never going to happen. This is why I want to get our own shit. I'm kind of irritated with having to wait for a guy to show up to do this, because I could be doing it when I know that the weather is right. You know, You can't help it, you know, because the young guy, he's got a lot of hay of his own to cut. And I understand that. But our field was ready to go the last week of June. So if I would have had our own haying equipment, this never would have been a problem. This would have already been cut, baled. Probably would have been in the process of, you know, putting it up into rows, you know, the bales. So I wouldn't be sitting there fucking pissing around with a rake trying to get this shit to freaking dry out. And you can tell that in the amount of time that the hay's been down, the grass has grown. New stuff. My lawn has fired up since last night. My grass is actually turning green when most of it was dead. So that's why I haven't mowed my lawn in fucking 2 weeks, because there's nothing to mow. Whatever is there to fucking mow, it ain't worth it. You know, it's just like little patches here and there. Well, I'm not gonna waste my time with patches, so. Drench. Yeah, I think I'll just I'm just gonna make my own judgment call here and say fuck it for today. And see what tomorrow brings. If it don't rain tonight, then we'll be okay. But I got a feeling that we're going to get a shower or something, or maybe even another freaking storm, given that it's 102 degrees. Blazer says 93, and that's all in Fahrenheit. I don't know what that would be for you Canadian guys, but my phone, I got actually 2 weather apps on my phone because I can't really trust anything, but the wet weather app that I have on my phone that I just downloaded is the same thing as what I got on my computer. And that always seemed like it was more accurate than the other weather apps that I have on my phone, which is actually from a local weather channel company. And their app is a joke. I think Mother downloaded the Weather Channel app again. We had them for many years, but they've been glitching like a son of a bitch, so we got rid of them. Got some twine hanging there. So Mother downloaded their app back on again, and come to find out it's still glitching like a son of a bitch. So, but the app that I downloaded on my phone says that it's 102 out. That's what it feels like, because of the humidity and the dew point is so high. If it wasn't for that humidity and dew point, I think it would only be 88, somewhere around there. I mean, it's still hot, but this hay would dry so fast if it wasn't for all that humidity. Even though it still seems like it's drying all right, because the top of it's still, you know, the top of it's dry. But I can't let it sit too long and wet either, because then it's going to start molding. But I think I'm just going to leave it for tonight. One, it's getting too late, and I don't know. It might rain some more. But it sounds like, though, after this little heat wave that we're having, it's supposed to be calmer and a little bit cooler. I think they're still saying low 80s, but which is fine, because we kind of need the heat to get this hay to really dry out. I was hoping to have some nice green hay. I mean, on top of it, you can tell it's going to all start bleaching out here pretty quick, if it hasn't already. But the underneath is still bright green. But, you know, it can't sit too long either, because then it's going, that's a damn board laying there. Because then it's going to start molding. And I'll be damned if I'm going to have fucking moldy hay. So, but I don't want to run this over with my tractor, so yeah, I don't know what to tell you guys. It's this was a bad one. And it kind of fucked over my day, because if we wouldn't have gotten that rain, this would have all been baled up by now. So this can just go underneath the bridge because I don't care. Better than on my land. So I don't know. It's disappointing. I mean, today's a nice day. Well, it's hot out, but you know, it's not storming, and there's a nice little west breeze going on. So, I mean, if you get a nice breeze, I would say at least 10 miles an hour. That and in full sun, you're talking some damn good drying days, you know. So, actually, I want to go check this stuff along the woods. I think he baled up most of that, if not all of it. I was over there. I should have checked that shit. Damn it. I didn't think about going in that ditch there and checking that low spot out. So we're going to have to work our way back over that to that area again. So, and I guess the young guy's kid there, they picked up a moisture tester, you know, for bales, round bales, and yeah, some areas it was good, you know, 15-16%, which is kind of where you want it, and then there's areas where it was high 20s, you know, closer to 30. But then I think as they got more towards the woods here, then they started getting into higher moisture. So yeah, I think this has all been baled up. Yeah. So there's nothing here to worry about, but it's that other stuff. Ooh. So I mean, yeah, we got some hay baled up, which I guess is alright, but you know, I just want to get done. It's so late in the fucking year. I hate dicking around. It's just, you know, I mean, I have no control over the weather. I know that, but I have control over some control over the hay, you know. And I can flip it. I got the rake, you know, I can flip it and let it dry out, but I need somebody to be right behind me with a baler. So, which, well, I won't be today. I won't even, might be tomorrow evening, but I gotta talk to the young guy, see what he thinks. If they don't even plan on showing up to bale, then I'm not gonna rake it, you know, because I think if we get another day like this, which, well, not 102 degrees, but you know, at least 80, you know, with a good breeze, you flip it, oh yeah, in full sun, you flip it, you give it 4 hours, it'll dry. Because look at how the shit on top is drying. So I think the shit would go. But this is my second time being through this ditch with the Tahoe. I'm pretty sure I said I was never going to come through here with it, but I'm a liar. Sue me. I'm sure damn careful about going through it though. I don't hear nothing creaking and crunching up. And I do have to kind of worry about on the front of the Blazer because I got that, I don't know what it is, some kind of a skirt on the front. I don't know if that's supposed to be some kind of a bug deflector or a wind deflector. I'm not really fucking sure, but the pickup has one too, but it's missing half of it because it's, you know, old. But you know, like this has been in the shade for, I don't know, a couple hours, but it's also been in the sun. So it's, I don't care about the, oh yeah, the top is not as dry, but it's getting there. So I guess you probably could almost bale it if, you know, everything else wasn't so stinking soaking wet. So Yeah, I think that's the game plan. I'm just gonna wait till tomorrow. I'll call the young guy around 1. And, well, I'm gonna check the hay first. I always like to check it before I call him, because I gotta make my own, you know, judgment call too. And it all depends on the day too. You know, if we have another day like this, but not 102, at least maybe 80, 85. Full sun, good breeze, you know, then okay, yeah, go rake it, flip it, let it sit for a few hours. The problem is, though, too, is I don't want to get too far ahead of the baler. And if they're only going to have one baler here, well, I could rake that whole square field, and that would take him all day to bale that. And I don't want to flip this stuff if he's not going to be able to bale it. Even though the young guy said they were going to have both balers here, but I don't know. Honestly, I doubt it. So, he's just got too much other hay down too. They got alfalfa knocked down right now too, and he says the chances of that going were pretty slim too. So, but I don't know. Well, I don't know. Most of this, I think, has been kind of in the sun too. So, if we're getting into that ditch now. And I'm actually kind of blown away that the ditch is not holding any water. Like, it's wet, but it's not holding anything. So that kind of tells you how dry we were. But I wasn't really complaining about being dry, because we are in the middle of freaking haying. I don't care if we're in a drought during haying. The only time we need moisture is before the haying and after the haying and the baling. Now is the time we don't need rain. We need sun and drought. So, but what are you gonna do? So we're in this ditch now. Let's see what it's doing down here. There's not too many windrows left. So, yeah, it's a little wetter yet. Even on top, it's a little bit damper. That's the soap. So you would never be able to bale this anytime soon. It would have to. You're talking at least probably another day, maybe even 2, before you can even think of flipping it. And here I was hoping I wouldn't have to rake hay this year. This is why we need 2 balers. I mean, you could do this field with 1 baler, but you know, when you don't have the weather on your side and you're literally limited to 1 day to bale, you're not going to get much done with 1 baler. So I'm already kind of thinking towards the future that I may be looking for a second tractor and a second baler. Who's going to run it? Well, my uncle, I guess. I'll have to teach him, but he probably wouldn't be willing to do it, but he's going to have to fucking want it. And if he wants hay for his cattle, he's going to have to fucking do it. So, he's the only other person that's willing to get his hands dirty a little bit. And, you know, so. Because I ain't going to hire anybody. So. But what are you going to do? So. Yeah, I don't know. It makes you wonder. So, looks like that's actually going east, but I was wrong too. About last night when I was talking about that storm, I said that it looked like it was going east. Nope. It was coming head on with me. So, guess that would explain why the lightning got so much more tense towards the end. I mean, it's not the first time I've seen this, trust me. They build up a row there, but you're looking at a green field. The field's turning green again with brown hay on it. So it's not the first time that's happened, but I don't know. Kind of just seems like ever since I got the rake going, we've been having a bitchin' time. So maybe I should go put the rake back where I found it, let all the air out of the tires, pretend that it's broken, and then maybe it'll not rain when there's hay on the ground. It's fucking cold. Come on. Looks like it's so dark. There we go. So I just don't know what to think of this anymore, you know? It's just, it's irritating. But I can imagine what it's like for people that are in a drought, too, because they don't have pasture ground to feed their cattle, and some of their hay fields could be burning up. And, I mean, yeah, we've been in that boat, too. We've had droughts. And we've had very little hay. I think it was just a couple of years ago we had a really bad drought. No flood, no rain. If we did get any rain, it wasn't going to do anything. And for whatever this is, 60, 70 acres, whatever the fuck it is, we only got 64 bales off this whole entire thing. And I think at that time, we didn't have any hay in that little 12-acre piece. So I think that was kind of another reason to why we decided to put hay in there, to kind of just help with drought years. It's not going to help a hell of a lot, but, you know, if it's an extra 5 bales, it's an extra 5 bales. But there's been years, and I think I'm going to do it. I ain't going to really give a fuck. It's whenever I decide to start cutting this hay myself. Given that the town does not care too much about the dike, since they don't want to mow it, you know, they're late every year. They're later every year. It seems like this year they were late. Usually they like to come like July 1st, you know, before 4th of July. Last couple of years, that's never happened. So I figured, well, given how this year was, this hay was ready back in the last week of June, I could have cut the damn dike, at least what's on our side, and fucking baled it. You know, I don't know if I'd send the 15 up on that hillside or not, even with the duals on it. I think I would probably well, you could move it by hand, but that's a lot of work. So, because I imagine I won't be cutting all of it, I might just make a round or two up it, but probably could put the rake on the A, you know, the little tractor, because that's got a much lower, it's much lower to the ground, that's what I'm saying, so it's less likely to tip over compared to the 15, whereas it's top heavy and skinny as all shit. So, so now if I could set my 15 out like the Magnum is, which the Magnum's got skinny tires, but he's got duals for it. He didn't put any duals on this year, only because the 986 is doing all the roadside stuff this year. So you guys know how my 15 is set it up, so we'll look at the Magnum. But the Magnum is set up nice and wide. You can't go any wider than that unless you put longer hubs in, or well, I guess you could move that inner tire out some more. Well, I guess you can't see anything from this fucking angle. But he's wider than the 15, that's for damn sure, and he's wider than the 10. I don't know how, well, it's probably not showing up at all, because no matter what I do here, he's wider than anything. So, yeah. And I think, Rooster 6, you got one of these. This one's a 7130 Case International Magnum. I'm pretty sure yours is that too. It's either a 7120 or a 7130. Yeah, of course, 4-wheel drive. That probably would be my next choice of tractor, would be a Magnum, but not something that fucking big, because I don't know what these 130s or 7130s go for horsepower, but I imagine it's probably about the same as the 15, if not a little bit more. And the 1586 is it's overkill. It is. I don't need a tractor that damn big, but it's, well, it's a dream tractor, so I own my dream tractor. And then again too, that was the closest one to home that I knew of. I mean, yeah, there are other tractors even closer to home, but they're either not for sale or they're just so wore out they're not even worth getting. You know, not saying that the 15 was any better. Well, actually that's bullshit, because the 15, I think I kind of lucked out with the 15. I think I got a good tractor for the price. But I got to get a new valve stem for one of the front steer tires. It's cracked. It ain't going to be this year though, so I'm hoping that it'll hold out. You can still put air through it and it doesn't leak it out. It's just the rubber's cracked. But it ain't going to be this year, because I got too many things on the go. So, but I haven't given the old 15 here any love for the last this old girl hasn't gotten any love for the last couple of years. I think the last big thing I did too is I changed the engine oil, and that was of 2021. I don't change the oils in this thing every year, because I don't run it enough to justify putting new oil in it every year. So I don't know. I almost don't want to put a loader on it, you know. Kind of just thinking maybe getting another tractor. One is, well, it's only 2-wheel drive, obviously, but so is the 400, and it takes a lot to get the 400 stuck, but you can still get it stuck. But I kind of have a problem with putting a loader on this, because, well, one is the frame rails. They are like brand new, and I really can't justify destroying them. So, you know, that's what we bought the 15 for, was to put a loader on it, and obviously to replace the 400. But I don't know, the more I just don't think I can do it. I mean, we might have to, but I just don't think I can do it. I think I'll have to get my hands on a 4-wheel drive tractor, if I ever could. There was a John Deere, was it a 7110? It was a small tractor. I think they're only like 110 on the PTO. So yeah, it's a small tractor. Of course, I think they wanted like $30,000 for it. But the thing is that it already came with a loader, 4-wheel drive, and it was in decent shape. Again, it was the same as the 15. It was in decent shape. I mean, yeah, it's had some wear and tear, but the tractors, they're always going to have some bullshit done to them. So, but I don't know. But I guess I'm heading home. Not much more I can do here now. So, but yeah, I would, if I was to buy a 4-wheel drive tractor, I think it probably would be a Maximum. I think the young guy said to kind of stay away from them because they're not American-made tractors. I don't really give a shit. I don't think you're not going to have too much trouble finding parts for it. I'm sure of it. So, Sure, you can still go through your Case IH dealer. And then, or it would be that John Deere. And that John Deere is actually, well, it's a little bit further away from home, but you know, it's still it's a reasonable drive. The Maximum was even closer. So, would I have bought in the 15, knowing that the, you know, like if I would have knew that the Maximum was there? Honestly, I probably just would have went for the Maximum then. I don't think I ever would have went for the 15 then, but the 15 is also my dream tractor, and I own my dream tractor, and it has literally everything that I want. The only thing that it doesn't have, which can be fixed, it doesn't have that tilt steering kit in it, which I almost had my hands on one, but the salvage yard never called me back. The young guy says, you have to call them back. They ain't never going to call you back. Well, I think that's bullshit, because they've called me back plenty of times. Because I think I was looking for parts, and oh my god, that's full. Holy shit. She's dirty, but she's full. That's our water barrel. That's what we use to water the gardens, instead of having to haul water from the house. Good. That means you don't have to haul any more water now for a while. Well, we won't have to water this garden for at least a week. Anyways, I'm going to take off, so I guess I have a good day and stuff. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Take her easy.